So I think I stumbled upon some gold. The YMZ FPV Lightning 2 is great. Let's talk about it. So I actually came across this drone while trying to put together an analog setup. The timing couldn't have been more perfect, and it's actually very similar to the YMZ FPV Eagle 1, which is a drone I've been wanting for a few months now. The price was cheap and the footprint is small. I guess the only front end downside was having to wait about 2.5 weeks or so for it to come in because it sat in customs for what felt like forever. The packaging was so small, I'm surprised it could fit in the mailbox, to be honest, and I do think they could have done more to actually protect the drone in the box, but it came in one piece, so it is what it is. In the box, we have two 3D printed battery holders, some extra screws, 2 sets of props, 2 screwdrivers, and last but not least, the drone. And the recommended battery size for this drone is a 2S 7.6 high voltage 380 mAh battery or a 2S 7.6 high voltage 550 mAh battery. As far as the specs go, the frame is the YMZ FPV L2F. The flight controller is an all-in-one F411 12 amp. It has a 250 milliwatt analog VTX with a 2.4 GHz ELRS receiver, and the camera is the Cadex Ant, which is pretty decent and costs about $25 to replace if it breaks, which is awesome. We also have RCN Power GTS V3 1003 10,000 kV motors on this thing with GemFan 2023-3 toothpick props. The drone without a battery comes in at 41 grams. The weight of the 380 mAh battery alone is 21 grams, and the 550 is 29 grams. And when you add the 380 mAh battery to the drone, it comes in at 63 grams. And with the 550, you're looking at 71 grams. So I've been flying this thing for a little over a week now, and I can definitely say the 380 mAh battery feels extremely nice. The drone doesn't feel weighed down doing any freestyle maneuvers or set and turns, and I feel as if I have way more control over the drone as well, which is pretty surprising to me because before flying it, I thought it would be underpowered because the battery is just so small. The weight of the drone seems more efficient with the 382, which, if I had to guess, is related to the weight of the battery relative to the drone itself. Even when the battery was low, it didn't feel like there was a crazy amount of battery sag I had to compensate for. The 550 milliamp hour battery feels okay, and just okay in my opinion. You don't get the same amount of maneuverability as you do with the 380. I felt like I had to be really careful when doing tight turns around trees in fear of flinging it into something else. I'd say if you have more space to fly, you'd probably want to use this battery, but if you're confined to a smaller space around a ton of trees like I was here, then the 380 is definitely your best bet. I did also experience a good bit of battery sag when it was low. I could feel the drone kind of struggling to stay in the air at certain points and really having to push the throttle to stay up through turns or flips or whatever. Still fun though, but not as fun as the 380. So I purchased mine from YMZFPV for $180, and I'll put that link in the description as well. There's also a walk snail version using the 1S mini kit if you prefer that, and your receiver options are either TBS Crossfire or ELRS. So who is this drone for? I think this drone is more suited toward people who are not entirely new to flying FPV. And I say that because even though it's tiny, it's still quite powerful, and it actually took me 3 or so flights to get used to it before feeling normal per se. Now, I'm not saying a beginner shouldn't buy this because it is pretty durable. I've crashed it more times than I could count. It's fun, it's small, and it's pretty quiet. I just don't know if you'd want this as your first drone. Personally, I always recommend just starting off in the simulator for a while and then going straight to a 5-inch. I think starting off that way makes it a lot easier to fly smaller drones. Maybe I'm just a little bit biased because that's how I started, but it's just my opinion. But yeah, let me know how you feel in the comment section. If you have any other micros you think I should try, let me know. Thank you for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Catch you later.